Well. Funny seeing you here, Russ, the West Ham Network. Hope you're all well. It's Thursday. We are rapidly going through the week, and obviously the new kit's been released, isn't it? Quite like it. I like it a lot better than the home kit. Myself and my brother yesterday on Brothers in Arms, Brothers in Crossed Arms, sorry, spoke about that in a little bit of depth in terms of the West Ham shirt and the various other things, and I'll go to 𝙏𝙍𝘼𝙉𝙎𝙎 order back in the day. So go back and check that out. Just two of the trilogy. The Dubai Budden decided he was a bit busy. No, not decided, he was busy. But thanks for all the lovely messages, loads of lovely messages about that, and loads of love support. So obviously, that's something we'll be running throughout the season, every sort of couple of weeks or so, maybe more regularly. If you want it, you can have it. But for anyone new to the channel, we had a ton of new subscribers, 1,000 or so recently. So thank you very much. What we do every sort of every Monday, Thursday, we do a Russy Rumour roundup, the original Rumour rating, where we look through all the back pages, all the newspapers, back pages. Get how old am I? ITKs, Patreon stuff, Twitter stuff, and collate the latest news, present it back to you, so you don't have to do it. And as I always say before every one of these, warning, I'm not saying we are signing all these players. In fact, we keep a running total just to show how ridiculous some of these rumours are. Okay? I have to put that at the beginning. So, you said we're going to sign this one, and you gave me like a 60%, but we didn't sign him. There we go. So what we do, we look at all the different rumours, give you our views, we apply the Russy Rumour rating, the original Rumour rating to them. Let's start with a couple which are not going to happen. And as we sort of mentioned, Harvey Elliott is someone who we have shown interest in, but it does seem that the price tag and also the fact is he has pretty much the pick of Premier League sides, plus a lot of European sides, means that the likelihood of us getting Mr. Elliott is very, very slim. Not beyond the realms of possibility, but you never. But I just think with so much competition, and I think we could probably use our efforts elsewhere. So I'm just talking about Harvey. So we say all about Harvey Elliott. There we go. So a 20% chance, 10% chance, and until they've got the what's name, until they're in the social media post, anything's possible. But no, I just can't see it at all. And I think he was someone we've had a vested interest in. So that's not been a mystery. But I just think he'll end up with someone like Newcastle personally, but we'll see. More likely, actually, that's another person I don't think he's going to sign. That's Douglas Luiz. It seems that Everton have jumped ahead of us in our pursuit for the Brazilian international midfielder, with where we were looking at a creative deal which would involve a loan and then an optional obligation to buy. Everton, by all accounts, are looking at basically buying him outright. Several news sources have said that Everton don't seem to be put off by committing 30 to 40 million euros on the 27-year-old, and several other news sites are confident that the Toffees now have wrapped this one up. A little bit disappointing, I'll be honest, but again, we'll show. We've been linked with a lot of players, and so I think for some of this there may be some interest, and maybe someone we've been looking at, but there's no way we have been linked with all of these players that we're talking about over the last 4 or 5 weeks ago. A lot of it is agents talk. A lot of it is to put pressure on clubs to sell, put pressure on clubs to buy as well. And so, yeah, I'd have loved someone like a Douglas Luiz but for 35, 40 million euro, could that be spent elsewhere? Bringing in younger players. He's 27, so you're not going to get much sell-on value for him. But he is a player who could come in and do a job now. And for all the, me and Tom spoke about it yesterday, for all the youngsters coming in, you do need a crop of seasoned professionals as well to work alongside them. You never win anything with kids. Who said that? So I am a little bit, we don't know how genuine the interest was in terms of Douglas Luiz. So we're only told what ITKs tell us. And sometimes they put out rumours to say we're after this one, but actually we're after this one, so... One we could be after is El Khannouss. 21-year-old. Leicester City dueling their crown. Now, according to reports, he has a transfer release clause of about 22 million quid, I think it was. And that is based upon being relegated. So that's your price tag. Comments below. 22 million. Would you pay it for El Khannouss? Let me know. I mean, he's an exciting player. He does remind a little bit of Ben Rama, I'll be honest, where Ben Rama could win a game on his back, but then sometimes it'd be fucking awful. That type maverick player, which I really enjoy. I like a maverick player, and we're going to talk about another maverick player a little bit later on. But I just think there's, it's good age as well. 21. Yeah, if it's 21 million quid, 22 million quid, you could probably get a return on investment of a good 4 or 5 years. Selling him to a Saudi Pro League side, for example, for double your money. I don't think it's a bad investment. But let me know in the comments what you think. So I'm on the fence. I haven't seen enough of El Khannouss really to pass judgment. I might go and talk to old Jack at the final. I can't remember what his channel's called, but let's see if I can get his views because that would be quite interesting. I'm going to give it a 60%, just because it ticks lots of boxes, and if it's part of the supercomputer, then let's see. Let's move on and talk about this gentleman, Gonzalo Garcia. See, I don't even know the Garcia. 21-year-old Real Madrid forward is another player apparently we are looking at. According to reports, Leeds, Brentford and West Ham are all in the race to sign the Real Madrid striker. He's played most of his... he played most in the second, sort of the B side of Real Madrid last year. But he did play in the Club World Cup and did impress. We obviously are, there is a option will be open apparently to a season-long loan, although we don't tend to do very well on those long season loans with lots of Evan Ferguson and stuff like that. But he ticks some boxes. You got to think. I still think we're probably going to this season with Fulkrug as our main striker. We may well buy another striker, but that's all gone quiet really. So someone who's going to come in and play, maybe 30 minutes a game potentially, maybe start the odd game. And 21, he's got a decent scoring record. What is he? 35 goals in 85 games, majority of them being in Real B. But I could see it happening. But would we commit to a loan deal? I don't know. I'm going to give it 40% of Russy Rumour rating, the original Rumour rating. I think the fact is the badge makes a difference. It's like he's coming from Real Madrid, but I don't know too much about him. He doesn't float my boat. I think there's more exciting younger players in less prominent leagues who you could get for a fraction of the price in terms of what we probably play, or not a fraction, but what we pay for a loan fee. Maybe they get a really good play on a permanent deal. Possibly. Let's talk about a trio of Man City players. So you saw the thumbnail. We'll start with Grealish. Old Jackie boy Grealish. Now, according to reports, West Ham have a vested interest in the 29-year-old English attacker, amongst a whole other number of clubs as well, the likes of Everton and stuff like that, which may curtail if, for example, they go with Luiz still potentially. A loan deal would be I can't really see anyone paying money for him because of his wages as well, in all honesty. So a loan deal with Man City subsidising, well, it'd have to be at least probably half, if not 3/4 of the wages to fit within the wage structure at West Ham. When fit, he's a match winner. When fit, he is a West Ham player. He is. But when fit. And that's always been the issue with Jack, is it when he's fit. He is that maverick player who I think we would all take to our hearts, but then we don't fall in love with a lone player. We've done this before, my friends. Do not fall in love with a lone player. I could see us you know, he needs game time to have any chance of getting the World Cup squad. And West Ham could offer that. Particularly, you know, you got to think with a big 𝙏𝙍𝘼𝙉𝙎 hole, you know, there is the opportunity to have someone in there who could play as a 10, could drift out onto the left, and Jack can do both. I don't know. Anyway, the Russy Rumour rating gives it a 50%. Let's talk about some other players we've been linked with. Nico O'Reilly, we've been linked with, the Man City youngster, 20-year-old, 6'4" midfielder. By all accounts, we are one of a number of clubs rumored to be showing an interest in him. Obviously, he's on the fringes at the Man City first team at the moment, and could be available for a loan move this summer as he seeks more senior minutes. Primarily used as obviously a central midfielder, but has played on the left-hand side as well. Technical ability, he's good. You know, he's got good composure. He's a big lad as well. He's only played 9 Premier League games, scored twice, which also featured, you know, in the domestic cups as well. While I don't think Man City will be selling him, a loan with an option to buy potentially, and then they'll have a buyback clause on that. Could be something that could be looked at. We're looking at the likes of, you know, Andrés Santos, you know, Nico O'Reilly, you know, that sort of position. He's got energy. He's a young lad. I could see something happening. I could see something happening around there. I think we've got maybe, for me, it could be something that happens towards the end of the transfer window. I think there's bigger fish to fry in terms of what we want, because it's all right getting a lone player in, but this is the whole part of the project. You know, you want players you can develop and bring to the side. He could be absolutely brilliant for us at this on loan, and then City take him back, and then we're back to square one in that midfield, possibly. Although it could give sort of breathing space for a Lewis Orford to go out on loan. That sort of year he's a slightly different player to Lewis, but you know, sort of that sort of circle of life type thing. I don't know. I'm going to give it 40% because I don't know whether a loan deal would appeal to us. Lastly, let's talk about James McAtee, the third of our trilogy. A player we've been heavily linked with, as you well know. And we are one of several clubs, including Everton as well, who are interested in the 22-year-old English midfielder. Now, I can see this being more likely than maybe someone getting like a Jack Grealish or Nico O'Reilly in there potentially. He's won 2 Premier League titles, and Man City are looking to move him on, and around 20-25 million quid. I don't think that's bad money at all for him. Now, we could do with another number 10. I mean, that's his primary position. And we've sort of question marks still over what's going to happen with Lucas. Could be a good purchase, or even if he's playing sort of Fulkrug and sort of 2 10s, he could be one of those 10s alongside of Bowen, for example. Everton also interested in him. Forest also interested in him, and that could be a threat because obviously they've got money on the hip, having sold Elanga. But with MGW still not looking like he's not going to be sold to Spurs, he may be occupying a spot at MG that Gibbs White is already covering. Again, you've got the World Cup coming in. He needs minutes. He needs Premier League minutes as well. So he will want to get to a side where he can play, you know, regular first team football. He has been linked to moves in Europe as well. I think it was Leverkusen who was interested in him as well. So it's a player I think again West Ham fans would really get behind. I'm going to give it a 60%. So I can see this one being more likely than maybe loan deals for the likes of Nico O'Reilly, for example. You know, Nico O'Reilly, I think, will be if we'd brought him in, it would be very much at the end. Obviously, we're still linked with likes of Tyler Morton as well, very different player to McAtee. But you think with our pursuit of Harvey Elliott looking like it's sort of dead in the water, McAtee for me seems a West Ham player, like an old school West Ham player, more, you know, technical player. But let me know what you think. I know you want to see the list. We have now reached the same number of players that we were linked with last year, 167. We still have 6 weeks left in the transfer window, something like that. So are we going to be hitting 200? I reckon we'll finish about 190. I don't think we'll hit 200. But I need to go through that because it looks like what's the name signed Petrovic. And that needs changing on that list as well. To say that one's dead. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble, keep the faith. And if you like what we do, don't forget to give it a like. Helps us out. I always forget to say those things. Like, comment, share, all that good stuff. All helps us. Little comment below, little emoji, little cross stammers, all that sort of channel engagement and gets it out to more people. Much love. Latest potatoes.